And now, the award-winning Simply Youth Ministry podcast with Doug Fields and friends.
What do you want?
That's it?
All right.
Don't say that's it!
Well, it's the first time we've actually heard the intro music inside. No, I thought there was a jingle.
No, but this is a new one, because it now says award-winning.
Oh, well, hey, everybody.
Oh, good paying attention,
Hi,
guys.
live audience.
Yeah, we got so much stuff. We just got to get right into it. We got so much stuff going on. Doug Fields here with Matt and Josh and Jana.
Hello, hello.
And we have been semi-live on the website, Andy, for a couple minutes prior. We were all sitting here ready to go about 5 minutes ago, but the technical difficulties that Andy was having. Anyway, we've got a live audience on the internet, right, Matt?
I guess.
Wait, do we have to look at that little camera?
How many people are watching?
Okay.
No, the live audience is right there.
41
And the
people.
iTunes
So he
audience is
just
right
put
there.
it about what
I
happened
didn't
about an
even see
hour
that
ago.
camera.
An hour ago, we put on Josh's blog and
Yep.
said we're going to do it live since we picked the time, but really we can't pay attention to that because here's the new thing. I just want to let you guys know this. The new thing is Andy and I had a meeting. We decided that every Friday.
We are officially friends. We were not included in the podcast meeting.
Yeah.
I was going to say, wait a minute.
It was in the airport in Cincinnati.
Well,
or
I'll
something.
translate what meeting was. It meant this is Doug giving you instructions.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to
We're just going to say, if we're going to do this, now that we've won the award, because really, that's the only thing we were shooting for.
Now that
we've won, we've got to take it to the next level, and we're going to guarantee the podcast every Friday night.
Oh.
Okay? Every Friday night it's going to be up.
date night.
It's going to be up and running.
For the single guy out
So
there.
we just decided that we're going to pick some dates and work with my schedule, and if you guys can't show, it's going to be the Doug and Andy podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
Should have been.
So every Friday we're gonna have a show
Appraisal's
live in
excited.
iTunes.
Yeah.
That's bold.
Yeah, every Friday. So that means we
Wow.
need to record it on Wednesday
Okay,
or
the
Thursday.
over-under on that is 4.
Hey, you guys,
I'm not even sure what
we've got
over-under is.
I've got like 5 piles of things. We've got phone calls that we've got
All right.
recorded. We have the drawing from
Piles
Cincinnati.
does not equate to organization.
There was an artist in the
There was
crowd.
an artist
Look
in
at that.
Cincinnati and who drew our live show. We had a live show in Cincinnati last week, which we got a ton of emails about. And I kind of thought we'd have 25, 50 people there.
I thought we'd have more.
Well, and we did. How many did we have? 150, 200 people jammed in.
All
that
I
thing?
can remember is that.
All I know is that they
not
waited
have
for
any
like
food.
2 hours.
Yeah, it was
And
late.
he was
It
too
was
cheap
late
to buy
at night,
pizza.
and this is the drawing. And Josh was in a sack chair
Yep.
off to the side, and really kind of unengaged.
Yeah, I was enjoying the show as if I was a spectator.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
that
pretty
was
much
kind of a
were.
bad move for you to be sitting on that. Was that because there's no room at the table?
I just thought it'd be a good bit. That's
Well,
all.
we
But
kinda
you're
thought
so
it would.
slim in that picture, though.
I know. I was going to say the same thing to you.
Oh, Jana.
She's pregnant, and you can't tell she's pregnant.
Okay,
That's what
this
I
guy
meant.
did
Oh!
this guy did a great job. He gave it to us as I think his name. It's hard to read his autograph, but somebody was behind him while he was doing this and said he sketched about 10 sketches of you, Jana.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's
Well,
weird.
yeah, but you got to say it the right way, the way that guy said it. He started and then didn't like it and scrumbled up, and then started
Oh, so he was always
and
starting with.
scrumbled
But he
up.
started
And
with
so,
you.
so at first it looked
Yeah.
it looked like
I
he
didn't
was
know that part of
only.
the deal.
Can we hold it up to the live audience so they can see
We
it?
did. He was holding it the whole time.
Well,
Pay
but
attention.
there's no way. Could they see it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're gonna scan it.
And so,
we hear a live scan?
Here's another new thing that we're going to do. I got.
We're not going to talk. We're just going to be
We're
here.
gonna just listen.
And Doug's going to talk.
Well,
Whether you're here or you're not, that's how it's going to go.
Doug Fields and Friends. Matt is going to take one question a week,
Ooh.
Oh.
and he is going to answer it
What am I
in
gonna
a little
do?
more depth.
What?
Whoa.
Oh, don't. He's already agreed to it. And he's going to answer it 1 week, and we're going to put it on a blog.
Do we have one this week?
Yeah, we got one this week, and
Really?
it's from Nick McKittrick. And it was basically it's a question that's going to require a little more thought. And so
So obviously we can't handle it on the show.
Well, it's just one of those. It's a pretty general one. It's basically, how do you make? It's a decision. It starts by saying, on episode 66, Doug mentioned something about watching Reno 911 while on the treadmill.
Yeah, good question.
And that raised an eyebrow.
How
for
do you
me.
know what the question is?
Because I read every email that comes in.
Oh, that's right.
Josh gets them,
Okay.
prints them out.
Thank
Which,
you.
by the way,
Sorry,
they were 2
I
days
retract.
ahead of time.
2 days at a
And I
time
started on
on
that.
card stock.
Well, I don't know cardstock, but my paper that I like.
Nice paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
And so
environment.
anyway, he just had a question about like
Hey, we got the
drinking
menu
and
over it.
what do you watch and movies and all that. And so here's the deal: Matt's going to take one question a week, and he's going to just answer it in Matt McGill fashion, and that's going to be a new feature. And we have a URL that we've got.
We do.
Is
We
it
just
called
decided-
natsdeepanswers.com?
No, that was
Even
one of the
better.
ideas.
I like
Here it is. The URL. You guys might want to write this down. It's called Better Than
Oh gosh.
You.
More Than Dodgeball.
That's awesome.
Much better than, right, Chris? Okay, so
Much better than.
much better than
I will totally send people. It's probably true.
More Than Dodgeball.
Oh, that's
This
awesome.
could be a location in Corona, and I'm not going to take it because of this podcast, but inside.
That hurts you a little bit.
Oh,
Wait.
friggle me.
You can drop your ringer too while you're at it, or no?
Well, maybe I can. Now that I think
You want me to
about
just take your phone from you?
it.
No.
No. No.
So you're not-
so anyway, much better than
The
Dodgeball.
future has things to be
Much
worried
better
about
than more
today.
than dodgeball.
Much better than morethandodgeball.com. So Josh's URL is More Than Dodgeball.
That
and
is
Matt's blog is going to be much better than. So we did that before you got here, which we were very excited about.
I
So
love
It was kind of
Uh,
a spur of the moment decision.
yeah.
It's
Who came up with that
Zero
idea? Was that my idea to do that? I mean, it sounds like it's my idea because I like to be self-promoting. But was it mine? Was it yours? The title for
Seriously?
the URL?
That you forget that quickly?
I did a couple seconds. Was it Chris that said
He
something?
needs- he
Would
needs
you
a
like?
sandwich.
Would you like the credit for it?
No, I like the truth.
Okay, it was mine.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, I really couldn't remember. It's all right. No,
So
Fantastic.
we're not reading the question.
No,
Okay.
no. The question will be on.
We already
his-
talked about it a
Question will
little.
be on his blog.
And will there be other posts? And will we
Yeah,
get to
one a
know
week.
Matt? Oh,
One
it's
a
just
week.
it's just the one.
1 week. And if you want to, when you write in your question
this will
to
be my 4th blog I contribute to.
It's perfect.
when you write into
I know the
podcast
plan.
at Simply Youth Ministry, you
Right.
can say this is a Matt question only. And,
Yeah.
But we'll choose
Cool.
whether it's a Matt question only. But
Yeah, totally.
I'm excited. This podcast
Oh,
is going to a whole
brother.
new level.
Serious.
we got no
Just
negative
what the blogosphere needs.
no negative feedback. At least Josh didn't print any
With the
negative
blog.
feedback from our Cincinnati
Did
live
we get some negative feedback?
No, honestly, not a single one.
on the
There
special
was
needs
there
comment.
was 3 different. Why do you got to bring that up?
Well, because I figured if anybody's going to get negative comments, it was going to be you on your special needs
No,
comment.
because people realize my heart for the hurting. Is there was 3 different people who just showed up to that room that had not only never heard the podcast,
Unbelievable.
didn't even know what a podcast was. It was so.
We are eye-opening technologists.
We
Hey, well, for those that don't
Ushering
know,
people in.
Award-winning
last week,
eye-opening.
actually, was it 2 weeks ago now?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
Matt had a vacation in Cincinnati,
It was awesome.
and the rest of us were working at a conference.
Yes. Yes.
Matt
How
and
did that feel?
Matt and I shared a room. We had a suite, and so my family was
man.
there. Matt and Misha, his wife, was there, and we had this group
On
put us up in a
vacation.
very nice place. So they had food for us in this suite, and my kids all had rooms, and Matt and Misha. And I'm stressing out, like right before a general session or something, going out of the room, and Matt goes, "Hey, this is a great vacation."
I was like, "This is really good. Is this a good vacation for you? Like
Yeah,
it is for
yeah.
me?"
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, the look on your face was perfecto.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, it was a lot of work, but I thought.
Hey,
the
thanks
response-
Thanks for asking me to speak at it, by the way.
Absolutely. It's
I've done a
Do you,
direct
you have a
schedule.
blog you can speak on.
I could have, done an
much
affinity
better than
group.
more
We
than
didn't even
dodgeball
know
group
that we were going to
conference.
get you.
Yeah, you're
You
right.
want the dates for next year? It's in Columbus. You
Yeah.
can
Which is
see-
also
Still
in
in
Ohio.
February 29th.
Columbus at least is named
Now-
after somebody people know.
Yeah, but you know why? I mean, when we did the interactive clicking thing,
Yeah.
75% of people
That was
drove
crazy.
Amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And so people say,
Especially
why?
considering the condition, the weather. I mean, for us, we were like,
All right, I
holy
agree.
smokes, the
I agree.
weather.
The weather was terrible, and if 75% are driving,
It
that's
wasn't terrible.
well, no.
No,
The night that
weather
you
in
got
here
in
is
a-
terrible. I'm about to sweat.
Yeah,
Is
can
anybody
we-
else hot? I'm surprised you're
I'm
not
super
complaining.
fat, but I'm okay. I'm more hungry was what it is. My
Oh,
stomach is shriveling up to
Turkey
it.
sandwich with avocado.
Hey,
What are you doing
there
over
was
there?
2
Fanning
Why the
responses to
pour?
the special needs. You remember in Cincinnati,
Yes.
I said if any of you are out there
Yes.
doing special needs ministry,
And they weren't negative responses. They were just additional help.
Yeah, but
right?
one guy
He
just
asked
told
for
a
help.
story
Tell us
about
what you're doing.
Yeah, one guy told a story about a special needs kid named Josh, and then he wrote insert witty comment here. But he just told a story about.
Awesome.
I guess I don't.
Oh.
You know where that's been?
In my mouth, watch.
Matt just Josh. Okay, let's tell the story. Josh came in. There's only 2 cold vitamin waters in the refrigerator, and
What's-
Matt and Josh took both of them, and then he sat on one.
And then I asked him, I said, where'd the other one go?
And he's got
And
it.
just-
It's
yeah.
under his rear, and then Matt just took it and licked.
Rear juice
Did you
just
see
makes
that?
it
What's
better.
funny
You're
is that
gonna-
your wife was telling me how you're trying to teach your children to be servants today.
I am.
so-
My kids need to not like their dad.
Not be like any dad.
Anyway, Travis Williams wrote in a kind of a story about almost losing one of his kids in a big cornfield. And then there's another one, Big Mike Lewis. And Big Mike Lewis said, by the way, because you said, is that the Biggest Loser guy?
No, I didn't say that.
What did you say?
I said he has emailed us before.
And he's a big guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's on a weight.
Hence the name.
He's on a weight loss
Big
program
Mike.
right now.
Yeah.
He said.
that's great.
But they do something at their church called Tuesday Treasures, and we have a program once a month called Tuesday Treasures, and it's a program for special needs people of all ages. Do crafts and games and music, and they have a blast. They have an annual concert for them, and every quarter or so they go bowling and have different fun events. So we didn't get much response on the special needs, partly because I don't think a lot of people are doing stuff for special needs. But I love that idea of a Tuesday Treasures, and I thought
That's
we
good.
could
That's
rip
good.
that off his
That's a good
saddleback,
line.
because
Yeah.
we could do we could have our student leader kids pull something off like that. It would be great.
Yeah.
Write it
Yeah.
in a
I'm gonna
moleskin.
write it down on my brand new moleskin because my first one I just finished, so this is a brand new one.
You know, it's
So,
interesting because
yeah.
I had a call from the receptionist this week, and she said, I see that you guys are offering Super Teens, which is our,
Yes,
Super
equivalent.
Teens is our special needs
right.
program.
And she was, during Easter, and she was asking me, about it. But Super Teens it's not really very descriptive. And on our Easter information, all it says is Super Teens. So
Just
she was,
assuming that the
Yeah.
entire
So
world
the
would know.
name is
Right.
really not.
When
helpful.
actually I didn't even know.
yes.
Yeah.
Until you just said that. Hey, a lot of questions came in. If you want to send a question in, you could send it to podcast at Simply Youth Ministry, or you could put it on the phone. You can call our line, which Andy has written on the board, is 949.
Oh, did we never get that?
No, we never got that phone number. That's
We
right.
need to put it up on the screen.
But you were ready
Put it
an
on the
hour
screen right
before
now.
we showed up.
in
Hi.
video.
Through the magic of iTunes, we'll now put it on the screen.
It is 9. It's not iTunes.
No, it just happened.
Or you can call. Hey, you know what, Chris? Let's start with a phone message.
Oh, I like it. All right.
We have a phone message. Let's go to Landon's. That would be call number 2.
Of two.
And we could edit out the silence.
This
My name is
is-
Landon. I'm from Seymour, Indiana. I like the 45-minute podcast better, although I think it's slightly hypocritical that we're allowed a 60-second message on this, not a 45-second. Question, anyway, is
It's seconds and
how
minutes.
do you gauge how much youth events should cost over the course of a year, and then how do you balance that with like fundraisers and things of that nature without overwhelming people with cheese and sausage and that kind of junk? That's it. Later.
Cheese and sausage. How
So-
much do you charge? Well,
Well, do you charge to break even? Do you subsidize, or do you overcharge to build a budget? Isn't that fair?
look at you doing the breakdown. Someone
It's
must be
broken.
doing some events the last couple months.
Because we've done all three recently. We're setting them up to some. We know we're going to lose money on them, but that's the plan, and there's value in that. And then
Well, lose money on it because you have a budget.
because we
that
will
you
subsidize
can't
it
lose
with
money on.
scholarships and
Yeah,
whatnot.
that's-
Yeah. And
And you
other-
think there's actually events that you're making money on?
Well, no, I don't think that's possible. But break even, I think, would be the goal. But well, I'll give you an example. We're taking a work day.
I've made a little bit of money some events.
We're taking a work day, and it's an event, and it's kind of like a service project, and it costs $20, and we're charging $25 because we have to rent vehicles or whatever. But if a certain number of students attend, we would make money because you can put more students in a van than
What's it cost to rent a van for a day?
I don't know.
Like $89 or
Really?
Around
That
that.
seems lower than what it used to be.
no.
Yeah, it's not cheap. But
Oh, I'm thinking Mexico Vance.
Yeah,
'cause you
and
had to
for a
do-
week.
Well, he's
and
also
for Mexico.
It was
but I'm just saying,
109.
depending on the number of students, you could
But
make a little money.
But that was with
Mexican
Mexican insurance, yeah.
But he was also talking about the question is how do you know how much to gauge to charge for events like
You
for a
gouge your
fa-
students as
for-
much as possible.
for a family.
Adam
we
Smith,
talked
the
about this a
invisible
little
hand
bit
theory.
in that what we've tried to do is to say we don't want money to be an issue
Right.
because I hate the thought of a youth ministry doing the haves and have-nots, and so the wealthier kids can go to the amusement park and the poor kids can't.
Right.
That
So does that mean you're a Democrat?
Take from the rich and give what?
Is that?
Ro-
I'm
or
just-
Robin
I'm
Hood, one
learning
or the
this whole
other.
new political thing.
it's not a new political thing.
Well,
It's been around for
Since
a couple
FDR.
of years.
Since FDR, the New Deal.
That's right.
So I think you look at you.
So
you
Obama
don't
or
make-
Hillary?
You don't make those. You don't make those decisions in isolation. So, for example, if I'm a youth worker and I'm doing a summer camp calendar,
Right.
and I probably need to pull a couple parents into this meeting and say, okay, here's what we've got on the calendar. This is going to cost X. This is going to cost Y. Give me your feedback on this. I think you do when you do fundraisers, which I hate doing fundraisers.
Yeah.
What you do is you always try to if you got to raise $2,000 for a mission trip, shoot for $3,000.
Yeah.
Set the bar high. Get that extra $1,000 to pad your budget. If one of the things you need to be concerned about in your church is, do you get to roll over that budget? What's that called, Jana? When you roll, fiscal year ends, you don't want them to wipe out your
A
fundraising money.
designated account.
Well, we have at our church we have to put it into a designated account rather than the general fund.
Okay, so that's one thing. A question you got to ask ahead of time. If we raise all this money and I'm creating, this is not the proper word, but I'm creating a slush fund for my youth ministry. What are you laughing at?
Yeah, that's not the right word.
I think
But that-
sometimes are negative.
Petty cash.
Well,
No, I mean
Surplus
people get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
in the
And
black.
that's why I set it up by saying it's not
Non-tithing money.
appropriate.
That's okay. Brazel still laughed at you.
Yeah. Is that at the end of the fiscal year, whether that's January 1 or July 1 or whenever it is, do we lose all that?
Yeah.
Right. In the web business world, what's that called, Brazel? Web
Slush
app?
fund.
The slush fund.
But the other thing that you always are sensitive to is families who have to take multiple students
Yeah.
to a camp and trying to work with them. So if they have 2 high school students,
Yeah.
trying to
We've really done everything over the years when
Right.
you think of it. We've scholarship kids, and then we tried to say, let's get some of the, not just the kids that owe on the scholarship, let's get some of our student leaders to help pay off that scholarship. So we're really, in essence, we're trying to be the church to say, how can we care for one another and make sure so-and-so can go and...
Well, we don't publicize this to the students, at least we didn't used to.
Josh
But-
might.
Josh might.
I announced it
You know.
yesterday. I don't even know what you're talking about.
But all the tithes and offerings that we collected in high school ministry went to high school scholarships.
That's cool.
So if we really needed scholarship money, we just tell some of our volunteers to tithe down there instead of
Tithe in high
Tithe
school,
in-
baby.
just
Yeah.
kidding. Just kidding.
All right. Here's a question from Dylan Glassiter. He said, Doug and friends, this is Dylan. I hear you guys talk a lot about tables in your youth ministry and was wondering what exactly the tables are used for.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
I was very
Hey,
interested in
by
reading
the
that
way,
as well.
By the way, I've read so many emails. Let me help 33% of the youth ministry world. A lot is 2 words. All right?
Oh, that's good to know.
Okay. Do you know that?
Yeah, my spell check just does it automatically.
Yeah, a lot is 2 words. I hear it.
Yeah.
I see that a lot. 2
Silly.
words. All right.
Podcast, 1 word.
That's right.
we talked about tables at the last
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, go listen to that one.
So, well, I think that's where the question came from, though, because they're saying tables in youth ministry. What? I think that's their point. Is why would you have round tables in a youth
Well,
ministry
you're
setting?
switching. You're having to switching that up a little bit right now. So what have you been telling your students and leaders?
Yeah, we've just started to do a nice mix of tables and chairs
On your weekly
on
program.
our weekend regularly
Crowd
scheduled
event.
crowd level program, entry level program. We put some tables out instead of just theater style row seating. We put tables out in the crowd, 8 to 10 of them, and we love it. I did it
And
back in Michigan.
We told them we're doing this because.
We told them. Well, I don't think we told
Look
the
at
students.
you caring for our audience right
Yeah.
now.
Well,
You're
I
actually
just-
doing a good job because most of the time when I critique a show
Actually.
afterwards, I go, we had so much insider stuff that you really didn't
Well,
remember?
he's just not answering the question. That's all.
Oh, well, you're
not
being a little
asking-
sensitive. So you're not
So we added some extra tables
like
to the
that's
weekend
been,
level,
like that's been a-
crowd level service.
Are we starting the value there?
It's a new
Well,
show,
it was
guys.
my question, so I had a little stake in it. That's all.
Well, why don't you?
No,
But
no,
you,
no. Well, what I
you've,
was trying
talked,
to-
you've told volunteers what the plan
But
is.
Yeah, that's what I
volunteers
meant.
very
Yeah,
much
yeah.
know that the table is there for a relational connection.
There
it's a
you
place
go.
for them to own.
There's the gold.
They're
Oh,
sitting-
keep
You've directed them to a
Directed
certain
them,
table.
They're owning the table. They claim the table every
Ah.
week. It is their spot for
49er,
ministry
baby.
every week. And so it's awesome because our table leaders walk in the back. I say hi. They go right to their spot, and then they're like, "Where are the students?" I mean, they're hungry, ready,
if they're
go.
a good table leader, and anybody in the world could come visit our weekend program, and they would see some of our good table leaders, and they would not fit the stereotype
Absolutely.
of volunteer
Great
youth
youth workers.
workers.
Yeah.
And people who, but they're consistent. They go to that same table every week. Sometimes they bring a little candy or something like that.
Right.
And they remember names, and when you see it work, it is gold.
Well, and one of our guys, Rob, just finished an outline for a training he's going to do on CD. Maybe we could throw that up the MP3 for everybody. But he's going to do a little training on how to be a good table leader. And so
That's cool.
It's
he's
funny 'cause
worked
I was-
really hard on it. And
From
he
the student
knows his stuff.
from the student perspective, not only is it a place for the leaders to go and have an area that they get to take out as their own, but from the students, it also promotes more interaction. I mean, people are
Totally.
looking at each other and talking, and sure, it's not the greatest interaction that you'd have in a small group on a couch where people are crying and all that stuff, but at a crowd level event, we want people to feel comfortable. We want people to talk. And
Right.
a lot of times when new people come on staff or new interns or new staff, whatever, they say, "Oh, it's so loud in that room. You know, we got to get them to be quiet. We have to control them. Let's,
Right.
why do we sit them there?" And that's exactly what we're going for.
Right. People fight that though. I've heard that absolutely.
yeah.
People saying, "Oh, we gotta get them to be quiet. We gotta get them to quiet down so they can focus on the message."
They have to focus on the table game. It's like, no, shut up. They don't have to focus on the table game.
Right.
Table game's there to help them talk.
Build in a little bit of relational
Yeah.
time right into the weekend program. So that's where we use them, and I'd say they're super effective. I would love it if we had more tables in there.
It's funny
I'm a
though
big
because I was
fan.
thinking about how you've recently moved them back up front, and that's been cool. And
Yeah.
seems, and then going into our new building, the tables are in the back of the room.
Yeah.
It'll just be interesting to see how.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think the tables worked as well in the back of the room
I
with
agree
the tent.
with that.
in
We
the
have a
tent.
combo right now. Tables in the front, and they work great. Tables in the back, not so well. Tables on the side, I would say not at all. Did not work at all. So we're
Yeah.
trying some different setups, but in the new room,
Well, we designed a building
right.
with the philosophy that we're going to put instead of filling it all with theater seats, we said we feel so strongly philosophically that tables give volunteers a place to own. It gives kids a place for
Yeah.
Which
really
we gotta-
artificial community. It's not when you say the couches, we would say, okay, that's more authentic community, small group, I know each other. But when people
Yeah.
are kind of coming and going at that entry level or crowd
Yeah.
program, it's an artificial community, but it's a start.
We got a lot of pushback though on them wanting us to take out the tables because we could fit more
More students. That's
seated,
funny.
you seats, fixed seats is
But
what I'm trying to say.
It gives you other opportunities too. I mean, it gives students. You have a chance to put your outline on something and write down the fill-ins and fill out the outline on a table. That makes more sense. And I think it's a place for table decorations and for some type of a stage theming. If you're into that kind of stuff, a table gives you a presentation for that. So I mean, tables I think win 4 or 5 ways over.
Good. Hey, here's a question from Alec Alberts, and he is from Cadiz, Kentucky, and I just recently went to the conference in Cincinnati. Got to say, it was incredible.
Thank
I
you.
came away with a lot of material, but that's not why I'm writing.
Vacation.
I'm writing to ask about
agree.
podcasts, preferable Christian or at least clean ones that I can show on Wednesday nights. So he wants to show clean podcasts
Wow.
on Wednesday nights. I sometimes get a viral video here and there, and we watch a very funny duo from my college days who are pretty famous now, Rhett and Link.
I don't know.
They're
I'll write them down. and I'll
not
Google
famous
them.
out here,
Not
are they?
famous enough.
Rhett and Link.
But we
okay.
still just feel like there isn't much out there. I spoke to Doug for just a second, but I think me putting my camera in his face may have irked him a little, so much so that he shoved my camera and then started talking to another guy. Okay.
You're like the paparazzi.
yeah,
Get away,
really.
get away.
Then he
Brad
writes-
Pitt
writes
right
this-
here.
I have video footage, and I read this. I'm going, there is no way I shoved somebody's camera.
Put it on YouTube.
But I
A.
actually do no, I do actually remember. I was talking to at the conference, I mean, you know, I was the last to leave everything. I talked to
Yeah.
everybody there. But I'm talking to these 4 guys, and as I'm talking to the 4 guys, one guy's there with, this is probably him, Alec. He's just there with a camera, like filming me talking to these guys. And it was goofy. I mean, it was,
So you shoved him away like you were Britney Spears.
No, I probably did something like where I came at him or took his camera and turned
Headbutted
it
him.
off.
Tried to do magic to it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, international symbol for turn off your camera.
Beat him in the groin. I don't remember what I did, but I did feel uncomfortable. But he did say, totally my fault, though, I think.
Yes.
It's just awkward. So tell
When
me your
you're
thoughts.
obnoxious, it's usually your fault.
I gotta write that one down.
But you know what? Like all weekend when people would come up to me with a video camera and say, hey, would you say hi to our, you know, kids in the youth group?
Right.
Our volunteers?
But you were a little sensitive to cameras in Cincinnati. Well, just because you weren't really happy with the way your picture was coming out.
Oh, that was...
What happened? Did you have a...
No, you know how people would come up and say, hey...
What is this?
Can we...
Is this a reference to a double chin?
People would come up to take my picture. You say, hey, can we get a picture? And absolutely.
He does
That's
this.
never a question. So, I'm standing there, and then people go, oh, I got it. And then they turn it to me, and I was like, 210 pounds. I'm like the fattest I've ever been. And I'm looking
It was
at the
last
picture.
week. You were?
I was 208 this morning.
Okay.
Well, new fad diet came out Monday. So.
Read a book.
So they show me the picture, and every time
Big
they
Mike
show me the
looks strong.
picture, I go, oh, gosh. So that's what Jana's referring to.
So
You need to be happy
Photoshop,
with who
if you
you
have
are.
a picture with Doug, Photoshop it
Oh,
quick,
my
and then you
gosh.
may post it on your MySpace.
Take
So you
out
were
the
feeling
third
like that
chin.
Quake picture.
I was just feeling fat.
You know what I like about...
I told Kathy I'd get in the elevator at
And
the
you didn't
With all the
with
mirrors?
all the mirrors, and I'd be going up to the
Oh,
31st
you
floor.
are such
I'm going.
a little baby.
I just, you know what? You're right, Matt. I am. I just do not want to weigh 210 pounds. So, but no, people could take pictures of me. I could
Neither
care
do me
less.
and Josh.
But
Yeah, I was going to say,
yeah,
we don't
in
either.
6th grade. But
We want
so Alec, how do we help Alec? I mean, one, not videotape when people
Yeah,
are just
don't
having
be
normal.
I don't even know what his question
Yeah, I
is.
forget
let's revisit
too.
this
Sorry.
question.
He's saying, where do you get videos? Where do you get
Oh,
videos to
podcasts.
show?
You know, it's actually
He said
interesting.
podcasts.
I think he said podcast, but he means videos. I'm pretty sure. Don't you think? I
Well-
actually just blogged about
Just
it.
answer the question.
I just
however
blogged
you
about
want.
it, and I said
no matter
there's,
what he means.
there's 4 or 5
Because
good
he had the
spots.
camera there the whole time. It was very
Just
nice.
push you out of the way right now.
Yeah.
Groovefilms.com. Obviously, YouTube.com is incredible. You can rip videos
They've
from
got
YouTube.
videos on YouTube?
It's
You
this
can
new
rip them
thing.
with Vixy.net, VIXY.net.
Oh, and what does
Really
that turn it
easy.
into?
Turns me into like an AVI or an MOV.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you saying this sarcastic?
It's
No,
not
I
a
didn't
little
know.
bit
No, I
sarcastic.
didn't know about that.
Vixy.net. Every youth
I mean,
needs to
the
have
Germans
free.
used to do that, but I just didn't know how they did it.
There's Worship House Media. Obviously, Simply Youth Ministry has a ton of videos. They have Student Life, Bluefish, Igniter. There's a ton of sources for video out there. I
Sermon
really
Spice
prefer.
has a
Yeah,
big-
Sermon Spice is good.
Oh, Rob
Skit
Bell
guys
has
have the
videos.
downloads.
Skitguys.com. You can get some of that stuff here. Youthministry.com.
What'd you say?
Rob
Rob
Bell
Bell?
has videos, right?
Yeah, Numa. I really prefer YouTube. There's just such good
So
stuff
give
out
me an
there.
example. If I'm teaching
But-
on peace, this weekend, I'm doing some on the fruits
Right.
of the spirit. So I'm teaching on peace. How am I using?
Yeah, because it kind of depends on what you're looking for to be your video. Are you looking for an
I would agree with
illustration,
that.
or are you
Yeah.
looking for a?
You have to fish, and you gotta say, oh, maybe I'll use this sometime in the future. I mean, you can't go, I'm doing something this week, I have to find something right now. I mean, that's...
Well, I'll
But
give you an
see,
example of
that-
what you
I-
just did, though.
But some of those, like Sermon Spice and places like that, you can download like one video at
A
a time.
specific
Yeah.
video.
That's how the skit guys are, and it's a great one where you can now teach on it. And actually, they just came out with 2 DVDs.
Sermon Spice?
No, skit guys.
Sermon-
It's another
Ser-
one,
yeah.
though.
That's a funny name.
It's got like a little
Spice it
house.
up.
Just
in
spice it up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah,
Gotta have
not
some
as good as
salt.
much better than more than dodgeball.
Much better than sermonspice.com. I like it. Well, let me give you an example of how I used
Just
YouTube
spice it up a
recently.
little bit.
We went and we typed in parents, and a clip from The Simpsons came up, and it's a really funny clip on moms and dads. And so I was doing a talk on how do you deal with imperfect parents. We used a clip from The Simpsons and a couple other films, ripped them right off of
I
YouTube.
just learned this week you're supposed to have a license to play stuff.
Probably,
like that.
probably.
Our church has one, though. So
Great.
you were legal.
Yeah, we need a CCVLI permit or whatever.
That's
to,
exactly it.
yeah.
Wow.
But
that's
isn't
good.
it just a certain amount of time you can show?
Probably,
thing?
but the clips on YouTube, 25
6 hours
seconds.
was fine.
And we played it. We played a clip. I forget which one it was. It might have been the Simpsons one, but it got a huge response from the audience because
So
our
you can love
students
Jesus and still watch The Simpsons, huh?
answered on your blog.
It'll be on Matt's blog this week.
So everything on YouTube though is free. That's the other thing.
But that's the point, right? $20 for a video versus free.
Do they have a
if it
high
fits.
res YouTube yet?
Yes, I don't know what it's called though, but it is.
GodTube.
No.
Don't make fun
No,
of it.
that-
That's some
that's a-
Christian
That
stuff
exists.
That's a real
you're
thing,
making fun
yeah.
of.
But GodTube might be a place to find videos. You know what? Here's another interesting one. This is total aside, but if you go to uversion.com, Life Church TV has a Bible, and as you're studying the Bible, it kicks up related videos from YouTube that relate to the scripture that you're looking at.
And that's
is
free
so
also,
awesome.
isn't it?
It's totally free,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
free.
brilliant.
That's great.
So you
Say it
type
again.
in uversion.com and youversion.com.
Version or virgin?
Version.
Version.
Yeah.
V-E-R-S-I-O-N.
V-E-R-S-I-O-N. And it's
Virgin,
brilliant. So you
you.
type in, you're looking at John 15:15, and
Dude,
bam, it's going
Life
to
Church,
recommend.
they are awesome.
They are. They are awesome.
Hey, let's buy the URL uvirgin.com.
Much more
No,
than
no, don't search
Life
that.
Church. Yeah, don't put that in Google.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Next question. I'm just saying it's
Hey,
brilliant. 'cause
One of the
it starts with
reasons,
the scripture.
one of the
and then-
reasons that that we at Simply Youth Ministry carry Bluefish is because several years ago I was in that dilemma of going, gosh, I just need something good each week, and
I
Bluefish.
might as well make it myself.
Photoshop.
Speaking of which, Matt McGill Sports Instructor. Let me finish my Bluefish. Let me finish my Bluefish.
Oh goodness.
Bluefish has this, Andy, what's like the best of? They've got like 12 videos. And usually when you get 12 videos, you're going, okay, 2 are going to be good. I would say of their 12, we'd show 9 or 10.
13 of them are great.
It's called
More than
It's
12.
called Shorts.
Shorts.
Bluefish Shorts.
Shorts.
Yeah.
Remember when
and
you had
Matt,
that sticker
we
on
got
your
two or
computer?
three video email questions this week about the Matt McGill Sports Instructional
Yeah.
Program. And Josh says, I said something to Josh. He goes, I get like 2 questions a week.
It's very interesting. People, they're legendary.
They're all on the video drive, dude.
I know.
For your
I think we ought to
Your
burn them
ministry.
too. Andy, what if we did this? What if we
I-
made it?
yeah.
What if we made it
You
part
seen
of
them?
Simply Access, our insider program,
Okay.
1 a quarter.
and gave 1 a quarter?
The old Matt McGill.
Old Matt McGill's, but let's put them on. I mean, let's find the best format we've got them on and make them.
Well, can't we enhance them now?
Well, they're all. I have them all digital.
Matt's a lot heavier now. We could reshoot them and it'd even be funnier.
No, Matt won't. Matt has an image as well. And he
Yeah,
needs to
look at
protect
collared shirts.
Photoshop.
Yeah, look at
Look
this.
at the hair. It's clearly.
I know it kind of
My
has the
hair
little
is
wave.
so lame. I need a haircut.
This
Matt's speaking today
big time. Big time. Matt is
to
speaking.
all the executive pastors.
I
at
don't
the,
even know if I'm speaking.
At
They
the
just said be
largest
there.
10 or
Yeah.
15 churches in the country.
Oh, there's like 45.
They're all here, and
Different
they're all going to hear
people,
Matt.
not
45
churches.
different
oh, it's not
people.
churches?
No,
45 different
they
people.
each brought out
Brought
you know,
you.
a couple people.
Oh.
Yeah, but Matt,
Speaking of that,
you're fine. We got plenty of time.
All right. So anyhow,
Um,
so let's bring them back.
All right,
They're going to be on.
Here's my stack of people. I
The chat,
think
by the way, the chat is loving anything that we can do with Matt McGill Sports Instructional Video.
the chat is
okay.
loving. So
The live
are you,
feed.
Are you live
They're
chatting?
kind of like
Yeah,
the peanut
fine.
gallery, though.
How many
now,
people
like,
are there?
34.
34 that are live. And how did they know? Is this all
These are
from
Josh's blog.
Josh's blog that we did like an hour ago?
Fantastic.
ought to
we
do
tried
that
to send
sooner.
emails, but there was an email problem.
Oh.
Much
Here's the
more
last
than
stack.
documents.
I don't want any more
By
emails.
we, I mean Brazel.
I don't want any more emails on the 45,
We're
60
done with
minute.
that.
Yeah, 61 way big.
There you go.
But we're probably
The
still gonna do
Brazel's
it.
30
Torture.
minutes didn't win.
Just kidding.
But Albert Alcorn, he says, love you guys. My pastor always asks why I'm cracking up at 8 a.m. All I can say is Matt. Gavin from
Thank you, Al.
Perth, Western Australia.
Hey!
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, wait, by the way,
you
I
didn't have
just.
anything to say though.
Yeah.
No, these are all 45 and 60 minutes. They're all.
Oh.
oh, well,
Brad-
I thought we had enough of these.
I'm just,
So wait,
I'm-
what does the Aussie want though?
He wanted 60 minutes.
Okay.
Love you guys. Seemingly aimless banter mixed with little insight.
Oh, you idiot.
So true.
So, but you still
Benjamin
voted
Carner
60?
says banter is
Whatever.
great, but
Yeah,
content is better.
Whatever.
Matt Mosley from Austin, Texas, which made me think about PDYM Regional. We are going to
Yes.
Because of
be
Mosley?
in Dallas, right?
Just
We
gonna
are gonna be
mosey
right
on
outside
down
of
to
Dallas,
Mosley's
yeah.
Right
house.
outside of Dallas
Moseying on
McKinley.
down to Texas.
in April 18th and 19th. So if
Whoop.
you are in driving distance, we're doing a 2-day,
Cool.
Friday night, Saturday. PDYM is Saturday. Friday night is Life
Life
Hurts,
Hurts,
God
God
Heals. and go to pdymcommunity.com. We'd love to see you. Bring your volunteers,
That's
bring
cool.
your student leaders.
Yeah, it's really a cool event because it's totally priced for you to bring your whole team, and we want to go to you so you can bring your whole team, and so.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
No,
blah,
seriously.
blah.
Megan Hutchison is teaching Friday night, Life Hurts, God Heals, and I'll be there all day Saturday teaching PDYM.
Yep.
That's cool.
Blah, blah,
We'll see you
blah,
there.
We're
blah.
also going
Wes
to Florida.
Henson got it. J.D. Thorne got it. He says, I like the shorter podcast.
Blah, blah,
John
blah,
Cole
blah.
got it.
Got it.
Chuck Aiden.
No, I don't know.
What is happening?
We got your email. I think it's all
I'm
the
just
names.
reading the names.
All right.
Here's Matt the Manatee. There's an email from Joshua Weiland. They're from Milford, Indiana.
And he says, whatever. Here we go.
It was another Matt McGill sports instructor.
We've been focused on some content here. We got 4 questions already.
Yeah, you
this is
know,
good.
Andy, Josh, it's the new podcast.
It's the
right
new-
into questions.
Yeah.
I got a lot of questions. A lot of
Ton of
people.
business.
A lot of people really liked Kathy being here on the
Yeah.
Valentine's show.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple emails about people going into her seminar at
Cool.
Cincinnati.
Oh.
And if you could pass this on to Kathy, I really want to thank Kathy so much for the track she led. My wife was in the track the entire weekend, really ministered to her. When Kathy shared with her, what Kathy shared with her has changed to help my wife so much, and I can never thank you enough for what you've done. It was
Wow,
nice.
that's
That was Mike
nice.
Very
Hammer
nice, yeah.
from Puntonksony.
My camera's also
Oh,
live right now.
he is live.
Mike
I
Hammer's
saw him
live?
today.
Hi, Mike.
Yeah.
Hammer's
He
live.
wrote a very nice one. It was basically thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
Thanks for not disappointing at the live podcast. It was fun to talk to you before the show. Hope you enjoyed your vacation. Josh, thanks for talking at the end of the conference for a moment, and you told him about the rejected video idea.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Jana, thank you so much for talking with me at the PDYM gathering.
Framing this is.
Doug,
Serious.
thanks for nothing. Andy, Chris, and Nadine, glad you got to play on the internet all weekend. But yeah, very nice.
Fantastic.
Hey, the truck driver.
Rob.
The truck driver, he wrote in a
Yeah,
question.
this is a cool story.
That is
got
cool.
him free to the conference,
We gave him Simply Access, too.
and we gave him Simply Access, which is a whole year's worth of everything.
Turns out he's a marathon runner.
Wow.
Oh,
you guys
so
worked
like one of
together.
your
Right.
people, huh? Yeah.
It's long distance.
Think about it.
Matt's so preoccupied with his speaking. You are so
He just left.
preoccupied.
No, I'm not
Or is it the
preoccupied.
sandwich?
He-
Is it the
he just
tuna and
read an
guacamole
email or
outside?
something.
I
I
know
know.
he's
Yeah.
totally preoccupied.
Why did you touch me when it came to long distance? Were you hoping me to make a joke with that?
No, I'm just realizing how out of it you are. That's okay. You don't have to be on every
I'm
week.
just trying to be nice right now.
No, you don't have to be on every week. I can just tell there's some softball stuff going up, and you're
Oh,
totally
give me
swinging
one
and
of the
missing.
softball lines you said.
No,
No,
man, I don't
none.
need to replay that. You're just not on your game. You brought in your computer.
You're not carrying the
looking
show
at it,
today.
You're
Sorry.
speaking to
Yeah.
executive
Oh,
pastors at large
golly.
churches. It's just not.
Big time McGill.
The future.
Do you guys know we're doing a podcast over here?
It's Rob, the truck driver for Chicago. I can't thank you enough for the conference. I had such a great time. I want to be able to connect with so many different youth workers. Was just what I need. Can't wait till
Cool.
next year. Matt and Josh are unbelievable. How did you get?
Wow.
Did you-
I don't know. All I
you
know is
talk
I'm
with-
unbelievable.
Didn't you and I talk to him together for a couple minutes?
Could be.
He
I
says
know. I
I'm s-
remember him,
I'm
but I don't
still
remember the
laughing.
interaction. Oh,
he
that's
He
awesome.
walked up at
Dude, how fun was
maybe it
Skyline
was
Chili?
the
Skyline chili with the secret ingredient of nutmeg.
Oh, speaking of
Did you
Skyline,
try
no,
Skyline?
I never left the conference center. You guys, I
need
went
to
out
s-
one time across the street for a lunch meeting.
Yeah.
That was the only time I left the whole time. I ate hotel
You gotta
food
have
the
some of
whole
the
time.
local food. It's
That's why I was
good.
so heavy,
The-
Jan.
no.
I was puffy.
Was you're 2 pounds ago?
Hey,
You're
hey,
sorry.
listen. If
He's
Brazel
speaking
wanted to goof on
prophetically.
me,
That's
I would
true.
let Brazel goof on me. The rest of you, being
Oh, you just got Jana.
8 months
Don't fight
pregnant,
it.
come on.
Don't
We
fight
don't
it.
need to goof on you because you
Oh,
goof on
man.
yourself.
All right. Skyline
I'm kind of
Chili.
sensitive right
Skyline
now.
Chili just moved me to Jason Underwood.
Ah, okay.
A couple
Jason.
years ago, remember when you said your mom's like, today my mom said I was too heavy or something like that? I
Oh,
was like, that's your
no.
mom. She's not supposed to
Your
do
mom
that.
could never tell you that you're
I don't
too heavy.
remember.
Oh, yeah.
Jason Underwood was a guest on the show last week. Yeah, see,
I did that to
back.
I had to softball myself because I'm getting nothing from you guys. Exactly.
Ah, all right. Here we
Jason
go.
Underwood was the guy who actually won our video contest and was very cool.
House of Fern
Well-
on the Xbox.
Is that what he is?
That's kind of how I know
He-
him.
Vern is his gamer
he was
tag.
very cool. He says, I want to thank you all for an
I'm on
incredible
disc
weekend.
3, by the way.
I had a blast at the podcast. If you need a monkey to hop around with a microphone, I'm your man. Doug, thank
He
you for
was
the pick
nice.
6 and for babysitting my son. Did you guys
We
know
gave him a
that?
pick
No.
six.
I
and-
babysat
You babysat his son?
Yep. Yep.
Did he videotape it?
His wife was it was in Kathy's session, and the kid was crawling or crying or something like that. So I
That's neat.
got a little love in the back. Because some of your kids won't let me hold them. I'm not.
Our kids are
of them.
afraid of him.
It's Uncle Doug.
The entire weekend was incredible. Please let everyone involved with SYM
that
Crew
was
know it was a
softball.
great
It was a good
success.
touch.
I fell in love with student ministry all over again.
Oh,
That's what we want.
that's our new tagline.
Fall in love with students.
all over
No,
again.
I think our tagline is still just enough
Oh,
ministry.
Arguably.
Yeah. So you don't feel guilty.
we argue about
Yes,
just
Matt.
The just enough
Here's
part.
the recipe
Exactly.
I promised
Not
you.
enough.
We fixed it for our Super Bowl party, and it is almost perfect. There is Skyline chili.
Oh, I know. He told me he sent that.
There
Can
it
we
is.
put it up on the link so everyone can enjoy the recipe?
It might be illegal to do that.
Oh, like the Neiman Marcus.
I don't
cookies?
even know why I care about that, but yeah.
Did you
Lean
try it?
hamburger.
Wait,
you
how
try
does he? What's the legal part though? Like
Yeah,
he
he
just
guessed.
he's just guessing.
Oh, he's guessing? I don't know.
I'm going
saying.
to Google it, and I'm sure it'll pop right
Hey,
up.
Andy, before we go to the next question, how's the online chat
Web
going?
clip it.
It's good.
Yeah.
We're having a great chat.
Yeah?
Why don't I get a part of that chat?
Are people,
Why is Andy
are
not-
people even listening?
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a constant flood of information.
No, we can see it
don't
live
give it
now.
to McGill. Don't give it to
Look
McGill.
at.
You're already not focused. You weren't focused in Cincinnati once
Yeah,
you got
they
near a
love it.
computer.
Can they hear each
I
other
was
talking
totally
and
focused.
us?
I had some great
Oh.
lines based on me
Here.
focusing on that.
All right.
They can hear us, but can they
Here we
hear each
go.
other?
Here's what I
There's
want you to
4 or
be
5 guys.
thinking of. I want each of you to come up with an answer. I'll start.
Raccoon!
gosh.
Beer. Reno 911.
Dumb.
I'll start, and then each of you give your insight. We have 4 questions
Oh, wow.
that were very similar. One from Brandon Schmidt, one from Jamie Nelson, one from Dylan Glassiter, and one from Andy Notice.
Okay.
Which, by the way, Andy Notice wrote in a while back, and he talked about one of his volunteers who was dying. You remember that?
yes,
we had that
I do.
conversation.
Right.
The volunteer did die, and they involved the youth group with it, and he just kind of
Oh,
wrote it
yeah,
up.
now I remember that.
And
Yeah.
they were involved in the funeral service, the whole bit. It was great.
Wow.
Anyway, he's doing junior high, high school, college. This Dylan Glaster said, "What should I be spending my ministry time doing?" Jamie Nelson said, "I appreciate your battling. My ministry is balancing administration and ministry together. Do you have any suggestions on what you would say is an appropriate balance?" And then this one, Brandon Schmidt said, "I have a question for Jana, and I wanted to ask her during her terrific workshop on administration,
Terrific.
but did not get a chance. Since you are responsible for so many jobs, how do you juggle each of them, giving the proper attention to each one? And how do you know when one job takes priority over another?" So all of these questions had to do with balancing and juggling. And, Jana, you've got like 5 job descriptions. I've got 3 or 4. Matt's is just
one.
The future.
one now. The
That's
future.
it.
Big time.
Josh has a real job description now. So when I read these, I thought that I would go into my little roles and goals deal and just say that for me, when life gets crazy and I know that I've only got X number of hours during the week, that I stole this from Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I kind of rethought it for youth ministry, put it in the back of PDYM, but that I go, I'm a leader is one role. I'm a pastor is another role. I'm an administrator, not a good one. Teacher, teaching, and a developer, creator, where I like to create things and write and do stuff like that. So what I had to learn to do was take those 5 roles and say, okay, everything I got to do this week, filter through these roles. Because if it just went to everything I got to do this week, it would all fall under administration. And I'd wind up, for teacher, I'd wind up prepping my
Sure.
message, Saturday night at midnight. I would wind up developing nothing. But when I was really struggling with this became so helpful because I went, okay, I'm going to take 10 hours a week for each one. 10 hours pastoral time, whether it be with kids, programs, whatever. 10 hours leader time. I'm going to invest in volunteers, take an intern out to lunch, whatever it might be. Teacher time. I use my prep. Developer time. That's where most of Simply Youth Ministry is product created during that 10-hour week. So that was helpful for me to take all the things that are going through, instead of living off of a yellow pad of to-do list where you just keep adding to it, is say what are my roles,
Right.
and then list those things under my roles and try to focus my time around those 5 segments. That's my answer. What about, who wants to go next?
I like that.
Well, one of the things I say is have your list of things you need to do, including something like prepping your message or hanging out with volunteers, or so that you've kind of determined your roles, but you've transferred it to your to-do list. And then that day you pick 3 or 5 things, 3 to 5 things that you have to accomplish. The urgent, the things that need to be done before you leave today, before you start tomorrow. And you're not trying to get your whole list done. You're looking for the most important, the urgent, the things that absolutely need your attention. Because I think sometimes we get distracted by the important but could be done next week, or the not so important but more fun, So
Yeah.
that's kind of to evaluate a little bit of.
Like sometimes what I'll do is I'll go through that list and I'll put an A, buy it, a B, buy it, that can wait,
Yeah.
C, and then when I look at my A's, then I'll go, okay, here's an A1, and try to do it by what has to get done rather than what's easiest to do.
Right.
Sometimes you just like to cross things off the list.
Yeah, and I think the whole idea of like the has to get done, if you're only looking at 3 things that have to get done, it seems manageable. You can do it. But when you look at 20 things that you think has to get done,
Yeah.
it's overwhelming, and then you don't do that. You go to the easy and fun,
Yeah.
So, but I think that, the A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, I highlight sometimes, whatever you have to, whatever works for you, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, highlighting them, whatever, I kind of tend to rewrite my lists probably every other day so that I can transfer what's,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
helps me
I got
reevaluate
lists
a
all
little
over the
bit.
place. I got a list on my
Yeah, that's one of the
phone.
things I
I've
say
got a-
not to do.
I got a list
In my
here.
terrific workshop.
I got a list on my moleskin.
Yeah.
What about you, Matt? You're a very organized.
Yeah, but I keep it more in my head. I really do.
Not helpful.
I know it's not. It's not helpful at all. But
there's a lot in
here's
your
a couple
head.
resources.
Demons.
Getting Things Done is a great book
Yeah.
that's accessible, I think. The one site you turned me on to, which I still check out, 43folders.com. That's a cool
Yeah,
blog.
brilliant.
Is that the one that just did the email thing?
Yeah,
recently?
Inbox Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Tony
you
Stewart-
search,
Tony Stewart hooked
Turned
me
you
up
on
on
to that
that.
one?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of Tony Stewart's got great ideas,
dude.
and I got God's will for his life. But anyway, I'll talk about that later.
So 37 signals, 43 folders.
what's been marginally helpful, but I like, is lifehacker.com.
Yeah.
You've been reading that for a
Yeah,
while.
I
I
like
just picked up
Lifehacker,
that
too.
book. I kind of like that. But right now, how I currently do my task list, I've got 4 boxes on it, maybe 5 boxes. This is going to surprise all of you, and it's not. It's true. In the upper right-hand corner, I have people, and all the people that report to me, I just have them listed. So usually, like once a day or once every couple days, I'm just looking at that, thinking of the people, so I don't forget somebody. I don't. So that to me is something so I don't get cut up. The other thing I have is definitely things that have to happen today. The next column is things that have to happen soon. And then the other column is, or box or whatever, things that happen someday. It could be 2 months from now, it could be 3 months from now, it could be a year from now, but I just don't want to forget it. And then I got another box of things that, this is the box that makes me most angry. It's the delegated box. You ask somebody to do something you need to follow up on. You ask another department to do this or do that. And so that's how I kind of organize my life on a week-to-week basis. I don't even pull that out every day. But I have people, things that I got to do today, things that I have to do soon, things that I want to do someday, and things that are delegated. And so that's kind of how
It's good.
so.
It's good.
I would say I don't have a ton of advice here because I'm a people person, and I get distracted so easily by people. I know it's hard to believe that.
But this is a newfound tool for
But
you.
this is great. The Moleskine has been so good for me. And one of the first pages I wrote is a to-do list. That's a manageable, updatable list. But here's what I would say. I would say you need to know your default and maybe do the opposite. Like my default is people, people, people. So the opposite, the other side is tasks. So if you're a task person, that's your default. Don't forget about people. And if you're a people person, there are still tasks to do. So, for example, if I find myself on my to-do list and on my email all day, which is unusual, but if I did, I would say I got to spend some time with people and invest in them. So know your default and then probably do the opposite.
The other thing I would say is take advantage of some systems that are out there, whether it's Stephen Covey or Outlook or, and try it, and if you don't like it, try another one. But, for those of you who aren't administrative, I mean, that they're set up for that help, So
Well, and that's in the back of PDYM under planning, I forget what chapter, like chapter 20 or something like that. There is my sample schedule that I use where I do the roles and goals with the blocks and stuff like that. And just to get started with something, that'll be helpful. Andy, what are you laughing at over there? What was
They're killing Matt on excuses.
on excuses?
Excuses for not getting stuff done.
No.
What did I not get done? What did I not get done?
Andy was
Just going through your productivity stuff.
Andy was giggling in the
What?
corner because he's now
Ask him what excuses they're referring to.
chatting live.
You just asked him yourself.
Okay, well, let's see what the response is. I don't think I excused a single thing.
I'm just going off with peanut butter.
Here's a question from Gregory Flanders. Hi, Doug, Josh, Jane, and Gerbil Slayer.
Jane.
People confuse me
Wait.
with Jane Wallace.
All the time.
I'm the youth pastor at a small church, part-time, with mostly all students who grew up in the church. I'm also a Young Life leader with some at-risk students.
Young Life.
I want to use some key students in my youth group as student leaders in Young Life, but I'm
Why are you
afraid
smirking at Young Life?
just how you went. Young Life. That was
Person in the
laughing at you.
background.
I
cheering.
thought you were making fun of Young Life.
No, I make fun of Amway.
Oh.
But am afraid that they live in separate worlds. Do you think this is a good idea? And if so, how would you go about prepping these kids to reach lost kids? I could use any advice you have. I'm a young leader and could use the wisdom of some seasoned veterans. Thanks, guys, and Jane.
Jane, this is classic.
I can't get over the Jane part.
So you didn't hear the
Yeah,
question?
No, I
what's
didn't hear the
question?
question.
Oh, gosh.
Who are the two kids? The two groups of kids he's talking about?
Wait, so he's Young Life, something Jane. I missed the rest.
That's it.
He works in a church.
I was thinking about
Youth
what
group
excuses
and
are
He
Young
there.
Life
also he also works with Young Life, and he wants to use
Two things that are diametrically opposed.
Yeah, he wants to use some of his kids at church to help with Young Life. He says, how do you go about prepping these kids, these church kids, to reach lost kids? Because that's the mission of Young Life, and I guess it's not the mission of the church.
Right.
Uh,
Well, and that's all Young Life does, right? Is take leaders from churches.
And we're live.
No,
we can't go back.
I'm totally joking.
Rewind.
has there been a little pain in history in your life, Matt?
Wow.
No pain in my life.
I would say to Greg, what I would do on that is you ought to be teaching all the kids in your youth ministry, this is what, this is one of the purposes of the church to reach the lost, Great Commission, Great Commandment. And then, I would love some student leaders to help me in this Young Life venture, and this is one of the primary focuses of a club night is to reach non-church kids. You guys are church, come help me do that. Cast vision, but I would
just gonna
really
say
be
vision,
careful. I'd
but-
be really careful to help them understand that Young Life is not the only place that you reach lost kids.
Right.
That your
I was
church ought to
just
be a
Good
place.
point.
You
Good
got to
point.
make the connection from Young Life to the church, don't you
But
think?
you would
Or-
even say the same thing about your weekend crowd entry-level program. That's not the only way to reach
Right.
people for Christ. I mean, it's the same philosophy. It's just you apply it to your own church and you also apply it to the Young Life.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
Well, there is. I just reached into the stack and grabbed another question. That
one of your 4 stacks.
I'm down to 2 now.
Nice.
Oh.
The question
So you
stack.
counted this before as a stack. So
No,
I'd
I
like to-
didn't count that as a stack. That's
Yeah.
5 stacks.
Yeah, you said 5 in the beginning.
Oh, okay. Great. So I got a 3rd stack. Thank you for correcting me.
Okay.
You're
Well,
back.
you're saying about
You're on top
listening.
of all the details.
It's all in my head.
This is from Stephen Bush, Teen Passion Ministries. Hey guys, love the podcast. I'm a new youth pastor who is starting an independent ministry. I was just wondering, how would I go about getting the word out to churches and about events and helping youth workers feel comfortable with the integrity of my ministry?
Now,
Well,
an independent ministry, like,
Well, his thing's called Teen Passion Ministries, and what I
so
wrote.
he's working outside the church.
He's working outside the church, so he's coming into an area and saying, "How do I connect with youth pastors?" So, when I read that, I thought every parachurch that moves into the area, they love, how do we access the resources of the church? And I'm not anti parachurch. What I'm anti is when people come into communities and fly out of communities. So, for example, I won't say which organization in this area, but they've had, in the 15 years I've been at Saddleback, they probably had 15 directors. So, they just haven't had people stay in the area
Longevity.
long enough for me to trust, so when they come up with
So this
an
organization
idea.
has directors.
Clue number 1.
So part of the integrity, Stephen, I would say, one, you need to be there for a while. Two, don't just have your agenda, because the church is Josh's, the high school pastor, has he has a job to do, and so somebody flies in. If you can make his job easier,
Yeah, then I'm interested in talking.
and you can help him, great. But how do they trust your integrity? You got to stick it out.
Yep.
Matt, are you okay?
It's 9 minutes till I got to go where I'm supposed to go.
Okay, we're almost done.
Danny's got to eat lunch.
Well, that's not going to happen now.
No, I think you have to directly benefit. There has to be a connection. Both those questions feel related to me.
Yeah.
There has to be a connection to the local church, or I don't know if I'm interested.
Well, I don't. For example, if Stephen, you came into our area and called and said, "Hey, Doug, I'm from Teen Passion Ministries. Can we get together?" I'm probably going to say no, and not because I
Probably.
don't like you, but I'm going. I can't even meet with all my volunteers. So you're now. I got
But
so.
that's not transferable.
You're right. It's not transferable. But what is
I've
transferable?
been waiting to say that for
is,
75 episodes.
is
You
every,
are so
That's
good at
kinda
that.
insider,
every
kinda
youth
not.
worker. Every youth worker. Here's what is transferable.
Okay.
Every youth worker is really busy.
That's true.
Okay,
That's
so
true.
you may not be. I'm just saying. For me, I can't meet with my volunteers. Why would I want to meet with
Right.
somebody who's got a different agenda? It doesn't mean. So I don't need another meeting.
Right.
Youth workers don't need another meeting. Steve,
It would help to
how
know
are
what
gonna
you
help
did.
them?
Yeah, it would help to know what your ministry's about. I mean, that doesn't really Teen Passion Ministries doesn't really explain.
But he's saying,
What it is
how do
you
I
do.
how do I get youth workers to feel comfortable with the integrity of my ministry?
Yeah.
Don't you think that's
But
word of
time.
mouth
Part
and
of it is
testimonies and
time.
time and taking me out for lunch? Wait, what?
Part of it is
Call
time.
anytime.
Part of it is how you're
Yeah.
helping them, not just
No,
you
just
know.
have great people skills. Then people will trust you. It doesn't matter what you do.
There you go. Integrity. Who cares?
Matt said in all sarcasm, right there.
Thank you for
That's transferable right there, guys.
All right,
The
here's
world
how I wanna-
is
here's
ruled
how I
by
wanna end
people
this.
with great people
I want to
skills.
go on eBay because I have.
We haven't done eBay in a
well,
long time.
Here's the deal. It's where I need
It's a
help
new
from
eDay.
I need help from our youth worker audience. If you are capable of doing this, there is a hurting youth worker,
Okay.
and this guy's lost 2 jobs in the church. He's got family. He's moved in with. He's moved in with his in-laws. It's not a great situation. I feel compelled to help this guy out, and
Okay.
I'm gonna personally, I'll match anything up to $1,500. Okay, so if we can get $1,500, I'll match it. I want to get this guy
Cool.
$3,000 to set him on his right path. There's a lot of stories. I don't want to go into all the stories about it, but
Okay.
for those of you who trust me on this, helping out another youth worker. But I also thought if we did get more than $1,500,
Yeah.
we could start a fund for other stories of hurting people.
People could nominate into the show.
that
Yeah.
we can
That's
help
cool.
we can help out with. And
A slush
we
fund,
got a
as it
lot
were.
of those through our.
well, there are
community.
just
I
some
mean-
A
hurt
lunch-
people,
lunch
people,
fund.
our brothers and sisters in Christ losing jobs, doing different things like that. So here.
So what are we
here's the
putting up
deal.
on eBay
here's,
this week?
Here's
Yeah.
what we're going to put on eBay. So if they don't want to if you want to just send in a donation to Simply Youth Ministry, Andy, can we do that? And they just put just put
Yeah.
hurting youth worker on there, and that will go into the
PayPal.
deal. But on eBay,
Hey, and
Simply
that guy in the
Access.
beginning who was wondering how much to charge your students, charge a little bit more so you could send us some money.
No, you don't need to send church money. Let's just send and people
Give. This is an
Give.
offering.
This is an opportunity
Yes.
to
A
help out.
love offering.
Simply Access we'll put on there.
Passion.
Andy, what's Simply Access cost?
$2.99.
$2.99. Okay, we got 30 seconds left. 10 signed books. Like you pick any books you want. You can say, I want
But now you-
PDYM to go to Robert, my volunteer. I want help. I'm a student leader to go to Chad, and I'll personally sign
Awesome.
all those books. A Matt McGill sports instructional video. Throw that on there.
Exclusive, new.
No, hurry.
A More Than Dodgeball T-shirt. What else?
Yes.
What else? People come up with some other things. Put it on eBay.
Better
This
than
shirt.
more than
No.
dodgeball.
Did we run out? We ran out of tape. All right.
Show's over.
See you next week.
It's a live audience. We gotta say goodbye.
Live audience.
live.
How
Just
many
enough
people
youth
are on there?
ministry so that you don't feel guilty listening.